Cool. So today I want to teach you how I went from having testosterone levels sitting at around 300 to over 1600 today. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I've done this. Now, to give it a little bit of a backstory to start with, we have to go back to 2023 when I did my first ever blood test. Now, this was one of those blood tests where you prick your finger, they send it out to you in the post, you prick your finger, and then you send it back off. Now, I was very early in my health journey, so I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I probably did the test too late in the day, and I didn't really have the right setup for taking an optimal reading. Now, that came back at around 300, quite low 300s, I believe. Now, from then on, I have gone on a health journey for the last 2 years, really focused on optimizing myself in every area, and coming to today where I'm now scoring at 1600. Now, first off, I have to say, I didn't do another test until September this year when I flew to Thailand from England. And I did the test straight after getting off of the plane for 16 hours and having awful sleep. So again, I didn't get a true representation of where I was at, but that score did come back, and that was over 1,000. I think it was 1,070 I scored. I'll put a screenshot there. So again, that was a huge jump up in a couple of years. And I was quite shocked at that because, again, I was having bad sleep the night before, and I didn't feel like I was at my best when I took that test. So 2 months later, stuck to my protocols, was in Thailand, living a healthy lifestyle, and November the 2nd, I tested again and I scored over 1600. Now, this was great news because it says to me that everything I've been doing over the last couple of years works. And yeah, I was actually really proud of that. So I want to start with going through exactly what I've done and the key areas to help you build testosterone and actually perform optimally. Okay. Now, first off, nutrition. Now, with nutrition, there's a couple of key things that you need to have. Healthy saturated fats from animal products, I would recommend. So like you want to be getting eggs, red meat, honey, fruit, organ meats. If you can get liver and you don't mind the taste of it, that's really good for you. I would say the main key is having an animal-based diet, sticking to whole foods and avoiding things like seed oils, processed foods, all of this stuff that you should know in 2025 isn't going to be good for you and your hormones, especially like the high carb, sugary, processed. That's the worst kind of stuff that you could be fueling your body with. And really, a lot of people have been eating that types of food for long periods of time, so that they've really messed up their system. And it's going to take a little bit of time to reverse that, to really get back to where they should be. But once you start fueling yourself with the correct foods, you do really start to feel different quite quickly. And then following that, obviously your hormones are going to improve. Number 2, really important, sleep. Okay. Now, sleep, everyone knows that sleep's important, but I don't think many people know how to have the correct setup to have a good night's sleep. Okay. Now, I do want to say this, testosterone is obviously produced during sleep. All right. So if you're having shit sleep and you're not sleeping well and consistently, it's going to reflect in your testosterone levels. Okay. Now, poor sleep equals poor hormone repair. Now, consistent wake sleeping times are the foundation of having good sleep. So you need a sleep schedule where you're going to be going to bed at 10 p.m., waking up at 6, going to bed at 9 p.m., waking up at 5, whatever that is. And if you consistently do that, your body's going to get used to sleeping at those times, and you're going to build a really strong circadian rhythm. Okay. Now, circadian rhythm is the most important thing for having good quality sleep, okay? Because it's the way that the body signals when it's time to go to bed and when it's time to wake up. Now, I have had consistent sleep for long periods of time, and when I've done it and I've been going to bed, same time, waking up at the same time, you don't need an alarm to wake up. Your body will wake up to the minute. Honestly, I've had that for weeks on end where I've woken up to the minute, 1-2 minutes before my alarm clock. And I ended up just turning off my alarm clock because it wasn't needed, and I was very locked in with my sleep schedule. A couple of other things to really get your sleep optimal and where you want it to be. Morning sunlight. So when you wake up, you need to go outside, get your eyes on the sun. If you can get sun on your whole body, that's going to really help with your hormones, okay? It was probably in 2023 when I started this health journey, it was probably the biggest difference maker that I felt was getting my eyes on the sun every single morning. If the sun's not out where you're living, get outside still, okay? As the sun's rising, even if it's cloudy, you want your body to be tapping into that circadian rhythm. So understanding when it needs to wake up, okay? Now, a couple other things. Cool rooms. You need your room to be cool. You don't want a hot room, okay? We sleep better when the temperatures are lower. So I like to, because I live in hot countries, I like to whack it all the way down to like 16, 17 on the AC, okay? You don't want to be sleeping in room temperatures of like above 20. It's just not going to promote good deep sleep, all right? So get your aircon down. If you live in England or wherever and it's summer, open up the window, try and get it as cool as possible. Really important. Next, digital screens need to be out of the room, okay? You don't want to be having like interference. Like if I can, and if I'm in a position where I can have the perfect setup, I'll turn the Wi-Fi router off at night, okay? And I will also put my phone on airplane mode and my laptop, I might even turn it off and have it out of the room, okay? You don't want any sort of digital energy around you. And that goes for your sleep routine as well. You want to cut screens out, if you can, an hour before you go to bed, all right? Really, really important. And to add to that, I wear blue light blocking glasses, and that essentially blocks the blue light from your devices, okay? So your body can actually start to get ready for bed. Because if I'm looking at this screen late at night, my body's still going to be awake, okay? It's not going to be going into that sleep pattern that I want to create, all right? So really important. And you probably want to have your blue light blocking glasses on hour and a half, 2 hours before you go to bed if you can. But even if you just have them on like 15, half an hour before, it's going to make a difference, okay? Next. Now, this is a really important one that a lot of people sleep on, and a lot of people just don't ever really get this out of their routine, diet, whatever it is. Endocrine disrupting chemicals, all right? Now, when I mean disrupting chemicals, everything that is not natural, okay? You know, these like soaps, shampoos, fragrances, all of these different chemical heavy compounds that we put on our skin, in our mouths consistently, these are all going to have a massive impact on your testosterone levels, okay? So you need to start being aware of what you're actually putting on your skin, what you're actually ingesting, and cutting it out, okay? And go for alternatives. So if you're going to be using a shower gel, let's say, you don't want to be using like some Lynx, Nivea Men, whatever that is, it's probably going to be bullshit. So I would recommend for going a natural route, all right? Natural soap, you can get good olive oil soaps, you can get good coconut soaps. All of these small little adjustments that you're going to make are going to have a massive impact. They're all going to compound, okay? So fragrances, again, a lot of guys wear perfume, cologne, whatever you want to call it. They have over like 200 chemicals in them. The main brands, 200 chemicals in them. And you're just all day. You're carrying like chemicals on your body, and that's going to have a massive negative impact. So cut that out. And if you do want to use a fragrance of some sort, sandalwood is the one I would recommend. It smells nice, and yeah, you still get that fragrance smell if that's what you're after. Okay, another couple of ones. Plastics, you want to try and cut that out as much as possible. I know it can be hard in this day and age, but be conscious of that. Don't be putting like Tupperware boxes in microwaves and cooking out of like eating out of these plastic tubs. Like that is going to mess you up long term. So don't do that. Don't heat plastic and have it anywhere near the body. If you're going in to do a sauna, don't wear swimming trunks that are made of plastic, okay? Polyester. Like you don't want to be wearing polyester if you can, because it is gonna disrupt your testosterone levels again. Now, tap water, one more thing to touch on here. If you can avoid tap water, do it. It's full of harmful chemicals. Again, it's gonna disrupt your hormones. Like, it's awful, okay? So try it and have glass bottled water if you can. Like right now, I'm in Bali right now and I'm having to drink out of plastic water bottles at the moment. It's not ideal, but you can't be drinking the tap water here. But if you're in like European countries, try and go for glass bottled water, okay? Next, supplements, okay? Now, in this day and age, you have to supplement, okay? Because the soils, the quality of the products that we eat these days, fruits, vegetables, meats, the nutrient value has dropped and will continue to drop more and more each year because of harsh chemicals in the environment. And yeah, it's needed to get your testosterone levels to where they need to be. You have to supplement, okay? So a key couple of supplements that I recommend and that I've been taking consistently to optimize my hormones: D3, K2, vitamin D3 with K2, magnesium glycinate, okay? You want a good quality zinc as well. There's a lot of zincs out there that aren't very good quality, but really important that you find one that is. And then Tonkat Ali, Fodoja, boron, shilajit. These are all really important supplements that are actually going to help you and optimize your hormones, okay? Really, really important. I must say though, with some of the supplements like the Fodoja, Tonkat Ali, boron, you do have to cycle on and off, okay? So do your own research with that, but it's important that you're not just continuously using these, okay? I will leave a supplement stack. I'll do a little screenshot there so you can see what I've been using over the past few years to really help optimize my hormones, okay? Next, training, okay? Super important. Everyone knows this, but if you're not pushing your body and putting yourself in high stress environments, your body's not going to naturally produce testosterone. So you need to be either lifting heavy weights, pushing yourself there, doing heavy body weight exercises, whatever it is, you need to be doing something like that, whether it's combat or weight training. Really important that you put the body under stress so that it forces itself to produce testosterone, okay? I also like, a couple things to add, sprinting, really good for testosterone. And yeah, like combat sports, heavy lifting. These are like key things if you want your body to be producing the testosterone, okay? Now, things to remove on top of, say, those chemicals that we spoke about: alcohol, obvious; smoking, obvious; weed, obvious again, okay? But if you're stuck in cycles of using these products or using these substances, you are massively messing up your chances of ever performing optimally. Seriously, alcohol is probably the worst. Cigarettes and weed, awful again. If you're logging on to online sites and spilling your seed and wasting your life force, that's going to be another one that's going to reduce your testosterone levels, and it's going to completely mess up your brain chemistry. So if you truly want to be the best version of yourself, you have to cut those out, all right? That is like non-negotiable. Okay, cool. Maybe you want to go out for a drink here and there, but anything more than once a month and you're going to be putting yourself in a bad spot to be the best version of yourself. Again, another one, social media use, like putting yourself in that anxiety, stressed, high cortisol state. It's going to mess you up, okay? You need to sort of disconnect from that social media scrolling, doom scrolling, disconnect from that. It's going to do so much for you. You're actually going to be able to free up your own mind and actually start to do things that are purposeful. Okay. Another big one is having a purpose, something to go after. Okay. Because without that, life's going to feel very meaningless, and your body's not going to have to produce the testosterone to go and strive for something. Okay. So you do need to have a purpose of some sort, and cutting out social media and consumption is really important with that. Now, the result of doing all of this, obviously, we're going to have higher testosterone levels, which is really important as a man. Okay. You're going to have more energy. Confidence is going to be there. Drive to go and do hard things, to better yourself. All of these things are going to start to come to you and flow to you naturally once you take out all of the negatives and you start having healthy, strong inputs in your life. And let me tell you now, it takes time to build these habits and this new identity, but really, unless you do this, you're going to coast. And I was coasting up until the age of 23. And by the time I was 23, I'd had enough. And 2 years later, I've been able to optimize myself to an incredible level. Really, it's like 0.1% of people get to this level without taking testosterone. So it shows consistency, compounding effect of doing the correct things will work. Now, if you do all of this and you consistently stick to your protocols and your new lifestyle habits, you're going to see massive changes. And it will take time, but you're going to see massive changes in your confidence, in your energy, in your drive, the man you're truly becoming. All your relationships are going to start to improve as well. So as a man, I think it's completely vital that you prioritize your testosterone levels and that you consistently do things to build that, okay? Because if you're not, the way that the world's set up right now, you're going to have your life force taken away from you, and you're actually going to fade through life and truly never become the man you're meant to be. And we don't want that. So if you want to optimize your hormones and properly understand where you need to implement new things, what you're going to need to change, you can book a call with me and we can go over, identify what you're going to need, identify the changes that we're going to have to make for you to become the best version of yourself. And we can really start to put you on that correct pathway. Now, if you want to see some more free value from me, check out some other videos on my YouTube channel. I've got lots more coming. You can also find me on Instagram, Tommy Biswell. But if you want to book that call and you want to make a difference, the link is below. Stay blessed.